Advocates for Human Rights. You have the floor.
Mr. President, the Advocates for Human Rights thanks the Human Rights Council and the OHCHR for their ongoing concern about the human rights situation in Ukraine, including conflict-related sexual violence. In partnership with Center Women's Perspectives, we stress that sexual violence against women during conflict is not a phenomenon that arises on its own. Rather, it reflects the pre-existing discrimination and violence that women experience in their lives during peacetime and that precedes and persists after conflict. Therefore, an effective state response to conflict-related violence must also address violence against women for the long term, which means ensuring victim protection and offender accountability. Ukraine's new domestic violence law was entered into force this January and provides immediate police-issued protection orders for 10 days and court-issued protection orders for up to 6 months. While this represents a first step, these orders must be longer and provide protection for as long as needed. Although the law requires a risk assessment for police-issued protection orders in accordance with the Ministry of Internal Affairs order, the Ministry's draft order does not include a risk assessment and it remains unapproved. As a result, police-issued protection orders are not functioning at all. Ukraine has also undertaken criminal law changes. Rape and other sexual crimes are no longer predicated on use of force or the victim's vulnerability, but instead on lack of consent. In addition to the lack of consent standard, best practices also requires appropriate procedural standards and effective implementation. The advocates and our partners remain concerned about the implementation of this law due to the evidentiary barriers regarding consent and the absence of detailed methodologies for police investigation of sexual crimes. Finally, these laws cannot substitute for the ratification of the Istanbul Convention, and we urge Ukraine to ratify the landmark Treaty on Violence Against Women without delay. Thank you.
I thank you, Madam. Next